the challenge question to last video's. Here is the answer to last video's challenge question. White can win by first playing the amazing move knight to h6 check. Now, why can't he take our knight or use his rook to take our queen? That's because it's called a double check, where two pieces are checking the king at the same time. During a double check, the black or white king can only capture or run away. Now, how can a capture be possible? Well, for example, if our knight had instead moved to, if instead, let's say, there was another piece, for example, a rook here, and we used the rook to check on f8. Yes, that is a double check, but even though it's a double check, black can use his king to take our rook, which avoids both of the checks. But in this case, he cannot capture two pieces in one move. That would be illegal. So therefore, he can only run away. If he had ran to f8, queen to f7 would already be checkmate. So he has to go to h8. Now, there is a very hard move to spot, but it forces mate in 2. I hope that you found this move. The move is queen to g8 check. Now, you might think how that is possible. Why are we just giving up our queen for next to nothing at all? Well, the answer is simple. He is forced to take the queen with our rook, as if he had taken with the king, the knight would be there. And surprisingly, we can play knight to f7, which is a checkmate. This checkmate is known as the smothered mate, where pieces around the king are preventing their king from moving. Today, I will be talking about opposition. I'll be giving you 2 examples of when opposition can decide the result of the game, and a position where opposition may not be useful at all. And as always, I will be giving a challenge question which will be resolved in the next video. In this endgame, both white and black have 5 pawns. But if white plays the correct move, white can win the game. But if he doesn't, he will almost certainly lose. For example, if white had not known what to do and played a move such as king to e3, then white is completely losing, as black will get what's called the opposition. Opposition can come in many ways. This is normal opposition, where the kings have one space between them. There is also diagonal opposition, where there is also one space between them, except they're diagonally facing each other. And the third one is wrong opposition, where there's 3 spaces separating them. You may have noticed that the squares separating the kings must be an odd number. Well, that is a good observation you made, as it is true. In this example, when white moves to either side, for example, to f3, black will happily come into d4 and force the win of these pawns. And white has nothing to do, as he cannot go into here to get the pawns, as the black pawn is guarding it. But if instead white had known what to do and had got the opposition, it would have been a whole different result. As you can see, white and black king are facing each other and have one square in between them. So white has the opposition. When black moves to either side, for example to d6, white can use his king to move to f5 and win these two pawns. I'm sure you will know how to promote these pawns and checkmate the king. If he had gone the other way, for example f6, we could have come in and captured these pawns. Now I will be showing you another example of when you can save a game even though you are down one pawn. In this position, as you can see, black is up a pawn, but unfortunately for him, it is black's move. So when he moves to a square, for example c4, white gets the opposition and plays king to c2. If he moves to d4, we will simply follow him. And the same thing happens if he goes to e4. But if he goes to f4, we can go to d3 and maybe win this pawn. So if black knows that this is happening and sees no way to win if this happens, black will try d4. Now, there is no way to keep the opposition, as we can't move to c2 or g2 to get diagonal opposition, nor can we get the long opposition, as there is no square called e0. So we must only, but this is also really critical. We cannot move to d1 as black gets the opposition, so we have to move to d2. Now, what if Now, what if black moves to f4? Well, we can simply blockade the pawn. And when he goes to defend it, we go back. So, as you can see, there is no way that if he doesn't move the pawn again, after moving king to e4 and us getting the opposition, he has to play d3. And when he does so, we can choose to go either d2 or d1, as there is no way for him to get the opposition. Let's just say we move to d2. Well, yeah, he can get the opposition by playing king to d4, but it has little effect as we have to move back to d1. As Like last time, if he had moved to c2, c1, or e1, he would have gotten the opposition. And when we move to d1, he can't do so. So he has to go to c3 or e3. Let's just say c3. And of course, we get the opposition. But notice we couldn't have gone here, as if we had done so, king to c2 would secure a promotion for black. Now you know this, white has to move his king to c1. And when black checks, we simply blockade the pawn. If he moves anywhere besides d3, he will obviously lose his pawn. But if he does move to d3, you may notice that it is a stalemate. It is white's move. He cannot move to anywhere, and he has no other pieces that can move. Now I will be showing you a position where opposition has little to no effect to the result of the position. In this position, black has just moved king to d8, but it has no effect on the position, as when we move our king away to a square, for example c6, and he tries to get the opposition, we move d6. What this move does is that when he moves the king back to d8, we can play d7. Notice that he can't get the opposition as our pawn is stopping him. And he can't get diagonal opposition even if he wanted to, as the pawn is also blocking him. So black has no move but king to e7. And when he does so, we can play king to c7. This move guards the promotion square, which is in this case d8. And black cannot stay on e8 or anything, so he has to move away, which allows us to promote with ease. I'm sure you know how to checkmate with a king and a queen and a king against the king. Now, I will be giving you the end of video challenge question. For those of you who have good memories, this one will be an easy one. I will be giving you a clue. We have covered this opening before in an earlier video, and this one is very closely related to it. There is a way for white to win material in at most 3 moves. Can you find it? The answer will be in my next video as I have explained earlier in this video. That's it for today, and thank you for your time. If you enjoyed the content, please consider to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.